Hi, I'm Britt. You are tuning into a medieval history of art in Northern Europe. Concerning the myth, legend, and meaning through textile art, our focus is on a series of 7 tapestries in the late Gothic era. We trek back in time to rediscover a mysterious myth. Its meaning becomes legendary through timeless interpretations. For a bonus, stay till the end to see a reconstructed drawing of one of the lost works. The Middle Ages were times of great flourish. Many of us learned briefly through history, literature, that the medieval ages were known as the Dark Ages. This term has been widely rejected. It was perhaps coined by Italian scholar Petrarch, referencing the fall of Rome. This biased term does not grasp the full scope, though it does point to certain aspects, such as the widespread censorship of burning books, book burning. I'd like to note my own struggle with understanding the Gregorian calendar. For me, growing up, the math just was not mathing. Essentially, this scale of time associates the century off by 100 years. So, for a simple recall strategy, the turn of the century is ahead of its time. So, the 15th century is the 1400s, while the 16th is the 1500s. Now, what we know today about the unicorn is it is a childlike icon adapted at a rudimentary level. Stories of the unicorn date back to ancient civilizations, perhaps further. In ancient China, it was said that the unicorn or the qilin appeared when a sage was born, signaling initiatory rites. Greek physician Tesias spoke of a mythical creature and likely borrowed his stories from Persia, dating back centuries before him. In some cases, the unicorn can be likened to a spirit animal. In others, the iconography is curiously similar to that of the gods of ancient Egypt, being a mashup of 2 or more animals. In this video, we will see a unicorn that resembles an albino horse or stag with goat-like features. Ultimately, this legend is elusive and has a single horn full of medicinal properties. This image is possibly the most recognized work in the series. Though the Met titles these works efficiently, they can still be seen in a differing light. Some call this the unicorn in captivity or the unicorn presumably in paradise. Depending on scholarly inquiry, the tapestries may be arranged in a specific order. The true sequence is unknown, yet speculated. Blooming with millefleur, pardon me if I don't say that right, or 1,000 flowers, the heart of the scene of the captive unicorn. He rests beneath a pomegranate tree that many retort the blood dripping down his body is from the hunt. It is indeed juice from the ripened fruit above. Considered a minor art, the tapestry was still masterful as it was not merely crafted for admiration, it also had a function. Major arts such as sculpture and painting became prominent, however, remained stationary. Tapestries and other smaller artworks had the mutual purpose of being portable. In a time when royal courts split their gatherings among different lands and multiple castles, travel-friendly artworks were a major plus. Textile artworks were underrated for their complex origins. The art of weaving held static rules, just as the masters of the Renaissance were held to a highly technical standard. Trade made it possible to acquire many of the materials needed to create such pieces. Today, many visual artists implement the works of medieval times and their stylistic qualities into their own renderings of what medieval life may have looked like. In this image, Aurora touches the spindle of a spinning wheel, which notably was a tool used in weaving. A simplified takeaway is that Dark Ages or not, more than 1,000 years of history is not to be overlooked. The first university in the Western world was built in the Romanesque period. Though many texts were destroyed, it doesn't mean that art and knowledge too were extinguished. The first rule of an artist is to be imaginative and to be able to interlace symbolic imagery that was emotionally interpreted without an ability to read or write is simply magic. We reach our end. Some of the modern films depicted in this video have created working relationships to understand the meaning behind the legend. It is important to note that an art analysis can potentially be a never-ending journey. This is not to say it isn't worth the travel, but to fully grasp the iconographic intentions of a people is to learn its language and build a bridge to your own inner terrain. Thanks for tuning in. My research sources are listed on screen, including academic journals, museum collections, and literature from the college library. This particular scene from the Unicorn Tapestries shows a woman that many can assume as the bait, though beneath the wounded unicorn's gaze rests the arm of what can potentially be a fragment of the full scene of the unicorn surrendering in the lap of his pure maiden. Keep watching for a bonus. These are further credits for images, citations, and other references. A little bit of some stuff I may not have mentioned as well. And this is it, the last image. See video description for a listed reference of links to the actual tapestries where they are currently housed. Thank you.